Welcome to the Kindness Project, the podcast designed to share stories of kindness and share how kindness can make positive change in our world, one small act at a time. This time on the Kindness Project, School Prefects, exam preparation, and we have part one of our interview with David Jamilly from Kindness UK. Welcome, my friends, to the Kindness Project. I'm joined by a lean, mean, writing machine. It's Charlotte. Why are you doing that face? Why are you doing that face? I thought that was a really good intro.
Because you were so cringy.
Alright. Lean, mean, right. I could have done it even cringier. Lean, mean, writing machine. It's Charlotte Dames.
And I'm joined by the lead vocalist of Chris and the Slippery Humans.
I'm sure you've used that one before.
No, it was a different one.
Alright,
I
okay.
think. Bloody well hope it was a different one.
Where did you get Chris and the Slippery Humans from?
Well, it was a little, we got bored and we went for a band name generator.
We did.
And I just wrote them down and I've just been using them as intros.
Oh, right, okay. So you're going to just use the random...
That was my last one.
All right, you're going to use the random, but you've been using the random band name generator.
Yeah, it's only the ones that you went, oh, that's a nice band name.
The Slippery Humans is not a bad band name, is it? But I don't know whether it should be Chris and the Slippery Humans or just the Slippery Humans. I don't know. We'll see. How are you?
I'm fine.
You doing all right?
Yeah.
You had a good day?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what else I want to talk about. I want to talk about your new tie.
Oh,
because you are really pleased with your new tie, aren't you?
I get to tie it. I get to actually tie a tie.
So Charlotte got nominated this year as a... it's got to be...
I put myself forward
Prefect.
and I got it, which is great.
What does the job involve? What does the prefect job involve?
You're asking the wrong person.
What do you mean? No, I'm asking exactly the right person as you are a prefect.
Well, the only thing we've got to do so far is that they sometimes they help us. They ask us to help out at parents' evenings and stuff like that. The thing we're doing at the moment is I've actually got to do mine tomorrow. Is we have to be in early, but it's not early. It's the time I usually get in anyway.
Okay.
To help out the year 11s because they serve drinks to the year 11s who are studying in the halls and the
Booze.
No, to take water and stuff. I don't know.
Oh, boring. Oh, I thought...
Yeah, but you don't really want to give booze to kids going into their English language.
They're drinking it anyway. They're sneaking it in. English language verbal or English language written.
English language verbal. It's not called that. It's called the English speaking exam.
Okay.
And I think I have to do that. I have to do mine soon because we do it in year 10.
Are you going to be drinking throughout the exam or not?
No, it's only a couple of weeks away actually. Thinking about it.
So what are you going to do to prepare for the exam? Apart from down the bottle of gin.
I'm going to throw up that bottle of gin because I hate the taste of alcohol.
Okay.
I am going to do some stuff in English.
Okay.
Because we haven't even... All we know is that we have to stick to a topic now.
Right. What topic? Is it gin?
Future careers.
Our future careers. So what? Oh, go on, tell me. What are you gonna talk about then?
I have no idea.
Our future careers.
I know what I want. It's just...
Okay. Give me So I'm the question master. And how does it start? Does it start with a really nice open question where they turn around and go, tell me about your future career?
Actually, it's more like you start with a 5-minute speech and then they ask questions for a little while.
Let's do it. Let's do a practice.
No, we're doing a podcast as a practice.
This is this is amazing because our tens of listeners, no, actually we've got a few more than that, our listeners can give you some feedback, can't they?
No.
So go on, give it a go. Give it a go. Give it 2 minutes.
I haven't got a plan or anything or...
Okay, so your only plan is not to drink booze before you go in. Is that your plan?
Not to drink booze and thoroughly write a plan before I go in.
Okay.
And then analyse that plan and then reiterate that plan so it's actually more effective.
But you haven't written the plan yet?
I haven't written the plan yet, so I can't say anything.
Okay, fair enough. What do you want to be when you grow up?
What's your life goals? You're looking at me serious, like.
I am. This is serious stuff.
I want to write. Like, I want to write books, articles,
Postcards.
always.
The odd stamp.
I'll design them and just like write my name.
But
on
you
them.
are, as I said in my intro, going back to the front, a bit of a lean mean writing machine, aren't you? So you're.
Don't use that phrase.
Well, I am going to use the phrase lean mean writing machine until it catches on.
It's not going to catch on.
Why not?
Because
Because
it's cringy and cheesy.
because it's a cringe, whinge, stingy
Binge.
Okay, I will only use mean writing machine every now and again. But yeah, so you're writing a book at the minute, aren't you?
Yeah, I want to get the first draft done before my 16th birthday, which is
6 months, 7 months.
6 months, and I'm only 4 chapters in.
Okay, yeah, you can do it. You can do it definitely. Anyway, we've talked about career aspirations that you're strangely vague about. We've talked about your job. No, I still don't understand what a prefect does. What does a prefect do? Serve drinks to older kids.
No,
Like, that sounds like a butler.
No, we're just kind of help. We're like leaders.
Leaders. Helpful leaders.
We just kind of help out the people.
You're helpful leaders of the people. I love it. Right, so shall we get on with this week's show?
Yeah, sure. Oh, we missed something.
No, we're going to do it. How can people get in touch with us?
There we go. We've got this magical thing called an email. I don't know if you've ever used one. I am partial to them myself.
I love it.
Yeah.
I in parts love and in parts don't love emails. Depends on the content of the actual email.
I get spam emails from Pinterest. It's very nice. So we have an email. I think. I hope. God. If we've been
Yep,
saying
we have got an email.
It's thecindnessproject.co.uk. You can just give us a click bang there and
Click that. Right. So I get in trouble for lean mean writing machine, and you're allowed to go give us a click bang email. What is a click bang email?
I have no idea. We also have Twitter,
Right.
and it's @HoloKindness. We
Right.
also have Facebook, and it's
Can you just give us a click bang tweet or give us a click bang Facebook message, whatever way you want to click bang us, bang us a message. Just click bang us. Apparently that's a thing now. Click bang. I'm not allowed to say lean mean writing machine, but click bang.
You're also not allowed to say click bang anymore. You've overused it.
Right. Okay, so you can send us a message on any of those formats. I can't even remember whether you did them all, but that's fine. But send us a click bang on any of those. And today's question of the podcast from me, Chris Dames, and the Lean Mean Writing Machine is: you decide to open a restaurant, what would you name it, and what would the signature dish be?
We've done this one.
We have done this one.
We have done this one.
We have done this one.
I said I'd use
Let
all
me
the recyclable food.
let me try a different one that we haven't used. Let me just click back my computer. You've been commissioned to write your own novel.
I'm doing that anyway.
What would you call it, and what would it be about? So that's this week's question.
Are you going to answer?
Well, I'm writing a novel, so I'll.
What's your novel called?
You know the way you were really vague about the answer you've given. I've got 3 books on the go at the minute. Okay, I do need.
You're not the only one, mate.
I do need to focus on what one I'm gonna actually finish first. But one's a novel, one's a book about money, and the other one is the book version of the Kindness Project.
Okay, so what's the novel about then?
It's about a dystopian future.
Oh, of course it is.
What do you mean? Of course it is. Why would it be?
Just have to try up your street.
You know what? I love dystopian fiction.
The The topic of my novel is not going to surprise you at all.
Is it a gay romance?
Yeah, it's called Practice.
Right. And then the second one is called Makes Perfect, or what?
No, there's not going to be a second one. It's just it's one novel.
Fair enough.
Practice.
Fair enough. Okay, but I am not going to reveal. I'm not going to reveal at Bookshop soon. I'm not going to reveal anything else about my novel because I might not finish it for a while because I may be focusing on the book version of the Kindness Project as my first little foray into publishing. But I am a publisher.
What, 2 books out?
One book.
Or 1 book and then the second edition of that book.
That still counts as one book. So, but because it's the same book, just changed a bit. I can't really say I've written 2 books, could I?
I've written 2 books. The first one edited some of the words.
I've written 27 books. Have you really? What are they called? They've all got the same name, just different editions. That is not writing 27 books. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that is the question. You get the opportunity to write a novel. What would you call it and what would it be about? Let us know. So this week's interview is with a man called David Jamilly. And David Jamilly has got a Wikipedia page. So I'm going to read directly from David. Did you cough a bit harder?
I breathed in too fast.
So I'm going to tell you a bit about David before we hear his interview. David Jamilly is an English social entrepreneur and humanitarian. David co-founded Theme Traders with his sister Kim Einhorn. Theme Traders is a London-based event management, party planning and prop hire company. Also, David started his humanitarian activities while entertaining sick children at Great Ormond Street Hospital. In 1977 he founded Pod Children's Charity, which now arranges over 2,500 performances a year and has entertained over 1 million kids in children's hospital wards and hospices throughout the United Kingdom. David appeared in The Secret Millionaire in 2010 and founded the Good Deeds organisation in 2005, which promotes global good deeds and kindness, and went on to co-launch and celebrate Kindness Day in 2010. So he is...
Also, he's got grey hair.
He's got amazing hair. And from a man who's losing his hair rather quickly, I'm a bit... I've got hair envy. But can we listen to David's interview?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so this is the start of the Kindness Project of David Jamilly. I'm just going to just put his name there and I'm going to put this is the audio for David. Russ, if you're listening to this, I'm going to do this in Audacity as well, just to see the quality of the audio, because we might not have to do it. Just to see the quality of the audio, and the audio is not that great because of the mic, so that's why I'm doing it on my phone. But we'll put it on anyway and see how we get on. So that's all good. Let me call David now, and then we can go from there. So that's all good. You can hear the Skype going.
Yeah, hi Chris.
Hi David, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Amazing, yeah, really, really good. I'm liking these lighter starts, lighter ends of the day, so I'm liking leaving my office when the sun's still out. So it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Winter gets grim in the UK, doesn't it?
It does a bit. Where are you? Are you based in the UK or are you?
Yeah, I'm based in London.
Okay, cool.
I'm in northwest to Crickle at the moment.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's London is an amazing city, but it's just it's just the winters that are less than great. But yeah, it's all good. Thanks for doing the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, pleasure. So tell me, where are you based, Chris?
So I live in Essex. I live in Rainham in Essex. So I run a financial planning business with financial planners. That's the day job. But I've also got two daughters. So my daughters are 15 and 8. And I was sick. So we started the podcast. About 15 months ago, just for a passion of me saying I was sick of hearing bad news and wanted to just speak to people with awesome stories to tell.
Yeah, terrific. Doing a good job. I checked out some and checked out the website. That's good stuff you're doing. Well done.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, mate. And again, I get to talk to people like you, and it inspires me to think the world isn't as bad as what everybody tells you it is. Yeah, it's quite encouraging.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so thank you. I appreciate it.
Tell me, Chris, I'm getting lots of echoes this side. It doesn't bother me, but in terms of quality for your end, is it all okay?
I'm recording on a separate audio device, David. So the audio, the echoes that you can hear won't come out on my recording equipment.
But I just think for you, from your point of view.
Yeah, no, that's fine. As long as you know that's all good. So I'm just going to press record now, so we can start the podcast, and then we can go from there. And then I'll just go straight into an introduction, and we'll go straight into the questions.
Great, fire away.
No worries. Hi, David. How are you?
Hi, Chris. I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. Really good. Thanks for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it, and I'm really excited to talk to you about the awesome work you do in the world.
Oh, you say that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can send me a tenner later. All right.
Okay.
I know all about you, but for our audience, tell our audience a little bit about you.
So I run Kindness UK, which is a benchmark kindness organisation promoting kindness. And I've been doing that for about 12 years. Before that, I was running the Good Deeds organisation, which was promoting good news, and I moved on from the good news to kindness. And so I've been in that field for about 14 years. I do it voluntarily.
Yep.
And we have quite a big catchment across the globe, and also in UK schools and government departments, all sorts of stuff. So
amazing. And I suppose good news to kindness was a bit of a natural transition, right?
Well, it was interesting because when I came up with the idea, as many have done previous to me and subsequent to me, that, we've said very negative stuff through the media, that I felt the need to balance it out in some way. And I started doing this with a website and gathering good deeds from around the world, and amazing stuff goes on all the time. And I then, through that work, came across organisations across the globe which are promoting kindness. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. I didn't know they existed. So I started getting in touch with them, linked up with some, and that led me on to setting something up specifically for the UK. But I still do have contact with lots of people across the planet who are doing similar things.
So in terms of Kindness UK, have you got international affiliates? Like, is there a Kindness US? Is there a Kindness India? How does it work?
Yes, well, there are lots of organisations. At one time they were all banded together, or many of them were banded together under a heading of the World Kindness Movement. But lots of people work independently. So at one stage I was a member of that. I'm no longer a member of that because the time I have, I prefer to put into actually, I'm going to say, doing the field work as opposed to being part of an organisation and talking about it. My time is very limited.
You want to add value as effectively as possible, don't you?
Yeah, but but it's incredibly interesting that people like one group I greatly admire who aren't members of that either, called the Singapore Kindness Movement, and they do absolutely amazing stuff. They're a government funded. They have 10 people working full time on kindness. The way they view kindness in Singapore is slightly different. The interpretation of the word across the globe does change a bit.
Okay.
They do fantastic work. There's an organisation in Japan that does fantastic work. Lots and lots going on in the States, Random Acts of Kindness organisation, for example.
Yeah.
So, it's a surprisingly large amount of things going on.
So that's interesting. So in Singapore, there's a government-funded organisation to promote kindness.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that their definition of kindness is slightly different. How does it differ?
Well, the thing with Singapore is initially Singaporeans were seen as quite unfriendly to visitors. And so the government, I think, this is my interpretation by the way, the government wants to create people being more kind and friendly. But from that, it's extended to quite amazing work that they do in schools and with the general public. And they've got all sorts of interesting projects going on with commercial organisations, schools, and it's quite a big, well-oiled,
machine.
Good machine. It's terrific.
Yeah.
I'm going to check out the website. So it's very interesting to check out sometime.
I will do, definitely. I'm just thinking, though, as you live in London and I'm on the borders, maybe we could do with Transport for London having a bit like that to encourage more smiling on the tube. maybe that's an idea they could adopt. Like just fund a bit of a few ads to promote more friendliness on the tube. I think that might be an idea. Yeah.
I mean that's a great idea. They have had TfL has worked with one or two organisations before.
Okay.
I know they've worked with a group called Kindness Offensive, who do sort of like, they just pop up and give away gifts.
I like that idea.
Public thing. And I know they've also done some projects with kindness poems on the tube.
Yeah, I like that. I've seen them.
A bigger campaign would be terrific because if people are a little bit warmer to each other, then the ripple effect from that is absolutely immense. The ripple effect it's at least seven times the act in ripple effect every single time. So that would really, I think, help to make our society, community in London a lot warmer and kinder.
It's interesting. There's a really good book by a guy we're yet to get on the podcast, not for the want of trying, but we just couldn't get diaries to work. A guy called Dr. David Hamilton, and in his book, which I spoke to him about, absolutely loved, it talks about the infectiousness of just being awesome to people. Do you know what I mean? Just doing good stuff and how that helps them and spreads that feeling of goodwill. I think that's absolutely true. And I like his argument that actually as humans we're evolved to do that because we've evolved to work together, right?
Absolutely,
yeah.
If we're going back into those sort of studies about development of mankind, we are essentially a herding instinct. We have herding instinct, and for a herd to work, it has to work together.
Yeah.
I know David Hamilton. He's a great guy.
He is.
You have to speak to him or listen to his talks. He does good talk.
Yeah.
No,
it's good stuff. I've had the opportunity to have a chat with him, but it was about a year ago. My audio equipment broke, so we had this, and as you know, because you spoke today, we had this amazing chat. And I got to the end, and none of it was recorded, but I still loved it. So it wasn't entirely wasted. So it was good. I'm just conscious that I've definitely pressed record on my recording equipment, but I've definitely done that now, David. So our one won't be. So help me understand how Kindness UK practically works. So I understand you've got the organisation, but what is it? I know you mentioned earlier about you wanted to make sure that you were making a practical difference. How does that manifest itself in the organisation?
Yeah, okay, because the organisation is limited by the amount of time that I have to put into it, we work on a project basis.
Okay.
So we have a focus each year on which areas we're particularly interested in pushing kindness towards. Some of the stuff we've done in the past, we've done sort of like viral stuff, getting out 10,000 candy bars at tube stations. Yeah. One of the biggest things we did was to write kindness packs for primary and secondary schools in the UK. All of them. Love that. And we've circulated over 40,000 of those now. So I'm happy with bestseller, I guess, if we looked at it in that way. Yeah. And these packs are specifically designed for busy teachers to be able to photocopy a page or two or three and introduce kindness into the relevant curriculum subjects, so different ways of introducing it into science or arts or assembly or whatever, and that's been a really, really huge success. We moved from primary and secondary, now we're working with a number of universities around the country in developing evaluation tools for the effect of kindness, because society sort of demands nowadays that if you make a claim that kindness can have a positive effect, how to back it up scientifically. Yeah. We all know in our hearts that yes, it makes a huge difference, but for society taking on board particular governmental departments, then they need evaluation. So I'm working with a number of universities, including Sussex, which is one of the main ones, which is working on that subject right now alongside me. So my current focus is getting some studies out which will help to bring kindness into play in a greater respect in places like, I'm going to say, police forces, civil service, and so that's my current focus.
And how do they test kindness? It's an interesting, because I read this when I was doing the research for this interview. And my next question was the academic research into kindness. So at what stage are they at in terms of releasing a paper on the impact of kindness, and how do you prove it?
Well, there are quantitative, qualitative ways of dealing. But just for example, if you're working on a organisation and you evaluate the morale level and the perceived kindness level before starting the programme, and you then evaluate the same thing after activating the programme, you start to build data. Yes. So if we just take that as a simple example, and then we start scaling it up, then that sort of becomes scientific data.
Yeah, great. Yeah. So you go into so the universities go into organisations to have a baseline of where they are in terms of morale, and then looking at having projects that are kind, and then taking a look at them. But that's got huge benefits to those employers potentially if it's proven that increasing morale is easier than they expect, right? By just being a bit kinder. It's interesting.
But the ripple effect from I use the word morale, but what I'm really talking about is
happiness.
People being kind to each other, getting on with each other. kindness was a very, very, very fluffy word until about, well, quite recently really, last, I'm going to say 3 or 4 years. Before that, it was very, very hard for me to
Pin
get
down.
anybody to seriously look at the word kindness, because it's just seen as yawn, it's a, it's a human value, of course, maybe it's a bit Christian, I don't know, it's just obviously a non-religious value, kindness. It crosses a single religion. But in the last 3 or 4 years, there's been a huge take-up of the word kindness, and organisations use kindness. I mean, in some ways, some organisations now, I'm not going to say manipulate, but use the word kindness for commercial benefit. So they use the word, we use kind products in our drinks, in our whatever, therefore you should buy our drinks.
Gotcha.
That's a very, very simple example there. I don't mind how people use the word kindness, as long as it's not just horribly manipulative.
Great.
The more the word is used, the greater spin-off. The word itself has its own sort of own little gravity system. That when it's used, then people around do become kinder.
I think it's an interesting one when you look at sort of organisations as well. So I think we went through a period, and I was having a chat with one of our. There's a lady called Pinky Laney who actually has a Kind Leaders Award every year. So she picks 30 leaders who have done great work. And have a approach that's nurturing in nature compared to that old style 80s greed is good, more profit is better, aggressive style approach. Because I think sometimes, certainly we run our business like this, and I know other people have done. You look at that and go, if life is only about the bottom line, what is the point? And certainly I think you're seeing a bit of not in every organisation, certainly there's sort of larger and smaller businesses out there who don't prescribe to this, but when I look at our business and other businesses out there doing similar sort of stuff, you think, you know what, longer term, being good to people is always the best way. Just because of the relationships you develop, and interestingly, I think you're seeing more and more focus on that now, aren't you?
Yeah, a hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
And the world's going through challenging times now. It's always been going through challenging times, but right now, with the massive increase in population globally, with the decrease in available resources, with people's expectations increasing on a consumeristic level, with people moving towards cities away from rural land, companies has a much greater part to play in knitting us all together and giving us all a better quality of life.
Great.
I mean, before kindness, in terms of the corporate world, the buzzwords were compassion and mindfulness. They're still pretty big out there. However, lots of organisations are taking on the word kindness in place or alongside as well, which to me it makes me feel pretty good, because I'm 1,000% convinced that the quality of life for the person experiencing giving and all of the people around dramatically increases positively through the kindness.
So that was David's interview. What did you think?
It's decent.
Decent. He's a good, decent bloke, isn't he?
Decent bloke.
Decent bloke. Shall we get on with the end of the show?
Oh, yes.
'Tis the end, but the end is only the beginning.
Well, it's not. It's the end, but we'll take it. So, last week's question in the podcast was inspired by you. So, do you want to tell everybody what it was?
Just fell on a rock and tripped on a cat.
And I was thinking, what would be funnier than falling on a rock and tripping over a cat? I think falling on a rock and tripping on an aardvark would be better, wouldn't you? Or maybe a baby. Or maybe a child. Or maybe a dinosaur.
Tripped on children before. I just didn't think it was podcast worthy.
Standard. Tripping over kids. I do that all the time.
When I was a kid.
But apparently your falling over and on stuff has inspired people to share their own particular
I
stories.
thought you were going to say fall on and over stuff themselves. I was like, no, don't do that.
Russ, our esteemed editor, has been waiting for this question. He once fell off the seat of a bus which was packed, and Kelly still tells that story. Yeah, and when he fell off, Kelly said, he screamed like a little girl, apparently. Amanda Smead fell off a moving manatee. She thought it was a rock. So she fell off a rock because she thought it was a rock.
She went to sit on a rock and she fell on a manatee, and the manatee fell and she fell on.
And Amanda also fell across a crevice on Mount Kilimanjaro and fell off the airplane steps after landing. So she was a bit drunk. So apparently she's got loads more stories. Cookie's got loads, so let's share Mr. John Cook's falling over stories. John fell off the back of a...
No, man.
Yeah, so John fell off the back of a bench at the Universal Studio Tour in LA onto a Japanese woman. Do you want to do number 2?
Tripped over, stepping into a pod on the London Eye, reaching out an arm and inadvertently punching a senior civil servant in the face.
Now that's a new one. Have you fell over and inadvertently punched in the face?
Accidentally tried to walk up a down escalator, fell over, my bag went upwards, went forwards, hat went backwards, and we all met again at the
We all met again at the bottom. At college, running late for a curfew, so running back to the residential block. Forgot to turn at a T-junction in the path. Tripped over a curb. Launched headfirst into the trunk of a tree. And then slid down cartoon style. And honourable mention to my dear old mum, who once, when working at Rokeby School, fell over standing on a chip. See, I like the simplicity of that one. I know John's ones were a bit more sort of elaborate.
Senior citizen base.
Yeah, just elaborate and involved hitting people accidentally. I'm assuming it was accidentally. Judith Hitchens had a good one. 1977, age 6, Silver Jubilee, dressed as Cleopatra, fell off the stage and split my chin open. Now, I think my best falling over story, I don't know if I talked about it on the last podcast, did I?
Don't know.
I once, age 6, fell off a bus.
Oh, yes. You didn't talk about it, but I know this story.
Yeah, so I did, at age 6 in the early 80s, fall off the back of a Route Master bus, head batted the floor, and I once dived in front of a radiator to save my sister and brother from being hit by a radiator. True story. Lucy Patrick, I could tell you so many funny stories about me falling over things. They mainly involve alcohol or early starts to the day. And Heidi Ball said, on my first day as station supervisor, Heidi works on the underground, tripped off a train and landed on a platform. Grandad once tried to headbutt a train, didn't he?
Great times.
Good times. Oh, well, we laughed. Well, we didn't at the time. We were worried at the time. But yeah, it's the last time we'll try and pick a fight with a tube train.
That's like chess boxing.
Also tripped over a toolbox. That is a weird story, isn't it? Where you been? Chess boxing. What is chess boxing? It's a sport that involves both choxing and bess, to boxing and chess. And what are you doing here? Oh, my dad got a bit excited on the way home and decided to beat up a tube train. And then Heidi also said, tripped over a toolbox, landed on a guy who'd left it in the middle of the floor. And lastly, went at school, fell off a small wall, landed on my wrist, broke it. 6 weeks later, the hospital had to break it again because it had healed wonky. So...
Does that time that I went down the hill and my brakes broke count as falling onto something?
We don't talk about that because I think that was partially my fault. Anyway, Anyway, that's it for this week's podcast. We'll see you next week.
Bye.